Dead to Me definitely should have been a single, and it wasn't. Hi Marie Claire, I'm Uchis, and this is For the Record. Isolation. Isolated, young, confident. I think probably what resonated most with my fans about Isolation was nobody was making music that sounded like that. And that's kind of what I always try to do, is just not go with what's on trend for the moment. If everyone's making dance music, I want to make ballads. I always want to just make music that's timeless and of the moment for me, not necessarily of the moment for what's on trend. I didn't feel any pressure making Isolation, especially at that time period in my career. I was just happy to be doing what I love every day, making art, creating, and that's the most important thing for me. If anything, probably the most pressure I felt making Isolation was just making sure, since it was my first album, that I could garner as much iconic collaborations as possible, and that's why I really took my time with it. It took me 3 years to make that album, because I really traveled the world going to work with Bootsy Collins and Tame Impala, Kevin Parker, and Damon Albarn, and Tyler, and all these different people. I just wanted to incorporate so many different walks of life into the album since it was my first one. Dead to Me definitely should have been a single, and it wasn't. I really wanted it to be a single, and so what I was given was like, oh, we'll just do like a live performance video, whatever. So we did like a little video, but it wasn't to the actual song, it was to a live performance, and that was the best I could get because nobody really wanted to get behind that song. And then it ended up being one of the biggest songs on the album. Sin Miedo. Kansi is very juicy, succulent, perhaps. I still remember that the first time I realized that it was going viral, it was Valentine's Day, 2020. I had never been a charts girl before. I just had to keep up with it. Like I was like, okay, we have to go shoot a music video. And I just went straight to Colombia, shot a music video, just went to my hometown, did it in my neighborhood. And I think I'm a lot more mature, not even just as an artist, but as a woman, as a person, as a human being, as an individual, having such a deeper interconnectedness with myself. I just used to put everything on the internet, so it's been very much growing in the public eye. You know, people that can say that they've been with me from the beginning, they really have seen me come so far and been with me on the journey, and that's part of what has made it really special for me. Red Moon and Venus. Dark, steamy, wet. I would say my visual references for Red Moon and Venus, it was very iridescent. I was imagining a lot of translucent imagery of just like being see-through, being sexy, very red. It has astrological references in it, but I think the underlying theme was definitely that sexiness and just kind of creating a world of its own in a sense. I think it would smell musky. I think it would have a musk scent to it, but also floral. Very mature, because when I think of musk, I just think of sexy, dark, and that's kind of the way that I view the album. I would say I Wish You Roses was the most special to me of the album. It really felt that I was speaking for my highest self, and I think it's hard to do that on a song, and I think a lot of the other songs on the album are very human, and they are coming from the human perspective, which is beautiful as well. But to be able to really make a whole song coming from your highest self is not something that happens often, so it was always special to me for that reason. I don't put a whole lot of thought into the titles. Usually they kind of just come to me, and when I feel like they stick and that they embody the work, if it sounds right and it feels right, I kind of just go with it. Sometimes they just happen intuitively and I just run with it. Orquídeas. Floral, fertile, mother. At the end of the day, that album in particular, it was really, really special for me because I've never, experienced a pregnancy before. I've never had a baby before, and the entire world that I was pregnant. So it was really different. It was different. Definitely one to remember. I was really excited in particular about working with Carol just because we're both, Colombian, we're both women. I love working with women. It's just really fun for me, and it's something that I had wanted to do for so long because of our shared backgrounds, and I have a lot of respect for her and how long she's been able to keep her career going. Probably the only other person that I got in the studio with was JT, another girl. So I'm just that way with girls. I felt really comfortable to just express myself, and it felt like a fun little slumber party. Like JT came to my house and we were just bouncing ideas off each other, and I was telling her what to say, and I really don't care to work with guys too much. The guys who were on the albums did a great job too, but respectively in their own studios. You know, with distance between us. But the girls, it was like, ooh, girly time. Like, it was fun. Sincerely. Silky, mermaid, kitty cat, meow. Becoming a mom and losing my mom in the same year was like two very strong life-altering events to happen. I was postpartum, like fresh postpartum when I made a lot of this music, and I was also pregnant when I made a lot of this music, so I was very vulnerable and raw already, kind of just like knowing, you know, the inevitable that my mom wasn't going to be around much longer. So I think that's why a lot of my headspace was very much in that world. You know, I was just going through a lot and feeling everything a lot deeper than I ever had before. The album is dedicated to my mom, and my mom left me a lot of letters, which is kind of really all I have to remember her by now. Each song is like my letter to different aspects of my life. And then afterwards, I felt like I really had made the right decision with the title, because when I was reading back the things that my mom left me, I felt 100% confident with the title. I feel like once you become a mom, everybody has so many questions about what it's like to be a mom. My personal experience, I really love it. I genuinely am way happier now than I was before I had my baby. I always kind of feel like people think that I'm lying when I say that, because there's so many other women that have a different experience. I genuinely feel it was what my life was missing. You know, life gets really hard, and just to be able to look at him and wake up and see his smiles and play with him, it's like nothing else in the world matters. So it makes you appreciate life in a different way. It makes you be more present. I guess in a way that has affected my art, because I've been able to be more present as an artist in general and feel a lot deeper than I ever have.